A very warm welcome to the new episode of Ink and Insights. This is your host Sumit Sarma Samir. This is a Nepal-based podcast, and if you are interested listening to the thought leaders and Nepali influences from around the world, please subscribe to my channel. I'm extremely pleased to welcome Bhuwan KC in my program today. Bhuwan KC is the founder of Kathmandu Organics. Bhuwan has co-founded several companies in multiple sectors since 2009. He was a member of UNFPA Global Youth Advisory Panel before he founded EcoPrice, a social enterprise that helped rural people in Nepal to have access to clean energy. Bhuvan, it's a pleasure to have you in my show. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you for inviting me, sir. It's great to have this chat with you.
So, can you please share the story behind the founding of Kathmandu Organics and what inspired you to start this venture?
Before starting Kathmandu Organics, we were actually running a farm in Kathmandu, Tokha. And while operating that farm, we realized that without right connection to market, it's very difficult for high quality agricultural products to reach uh, to right market and also get good prices, because prices were generally controlled by large wholesale markets, and we're trying to produce higher quality and organic products during that time. So what we felt during that period, it was in like 2014-15. We felt like, okay, so farming is one part, but there is a good opportunity and a good problem that is related with connecting farmers with the market. So this idea of delivering products, agricultural products or groceries to the homes started in our minds during 2015-16 period. But
Okay.
then we also had good connections with people from farmers from Jumla area. So our original idea was to only solely focus in those areas. But then today we are working with over 50 districts.
Right, right. So, what are the core values or principles that guide your company?
Okay. Um, Basically, we have three core values, and they are like curated. The curated means we carefully select the products that we make available in our platform. It's basically an e-commerce platform, so most of the products are available through website, Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp. These are our channels, and we carefully curate those products. The other
Right.
part is natural. We don't sell products which have like artificial ingredients or any kind of preservatives in them. And third is uh, curated and natural and authentic. The other important part is authentic. In Nepal, you can see that, or in everywhere in the world, the authenticity is huge problem in agricultural products, because people claim like this is from this part of the Nepal, but then usually what you find is like it's totally false information. So
Okay.
authenticity is another core value of Kathmandu Organics.
Right. And how do you kind of, contribute to sustainable agriculture and environmental conservation at the same time?
So we look into sustainable agriculture in terms of how we source our products, because because it's very important that we try to promote products which are from uh, uh, mostly virgin areas of Nepal. Because when we
Right.
started our company back in 2017, it's when we're promoting products from rural areas of Karnali, Jumla, or Mugu. During that period, also there were very few companies which are actually trying or making effort to bring these products from such remote parts of Nepal, because they were very early days and recently connected to Nepal through roadways. So, because and in those areas, most of these farmers use traditional farming practices, and they did
Okay.
not use any kind of chemical fertilizers or insecticides, pesticides. Most of them are using traditional farming practices, which will help to preserve our condition of land, and also the practices are natural. And at the same time, these kind of farming practices help in environmental protection as well, because there is no any kind of emission or any kind of use of a chemical fertilizers or unnatural practices, or that is widely used in more commercial farming. And
Right.
most of these farmers are smallholder farmers, so their land holding sizes are also very small. So they do not go for like commercial. They do within their families. They work within their families, and they produce in smaller quantities, and usually use natural and traditional farming practices to produce their products.
Right. Right. Bhuvan, and how competitive is the field? What has been your experience?
In terms of competitiveness, I think when we started in 2017, there were very less companies which are actually delivering groceries uh, through using use of online or e-commerce platform. But recently, as you can see, like bigger players are also into grocery deliveries, and the competition also increased after COVID, because during COVID, people realized that e-commerce sector can be also one of the strong uh, sector for everyone, because before
Right.
that period, e-commerce was not a main business or main platform of business for anybody. So
Right.
recently you can see that more and more e-commerce, grocery e-commerces are coming. There are lots of e-commerces which are which focused in other electronic items, fashion items, but grocery e-commerce are still very less. But then you can see the number is growing rapid day by day. Even food delivery companies are also into grocery deliveries. You can see like
Right.
these days, even Food Mandu, even Pathao, all all of them have a grocery section in them. So I think it's growing day by day, and people are also trusting groceries, because usually what happens is like for food in Nepal, you can generally people want to go and select themselves, uh, check the quality, check the price, and bargain, and all these things mostly happen in food and grocery section. So nowadays
Sure.
people are more into like, okay, since the uh, market is also mature now, so more
Right.
and more e-commerce, grocery e-commerce are coming.
Right. So since you started a bit early, right? So what's your experience in terms of how can e-commerce like yours can survive in this competitive environment?
In terms of in this competitive environment, there are few things that needs to be addressed. The first is, in Nepal we don't have any kind of e-commerce bill or any kind of law that will govern the e-commerce sector. So there is a draft that is still under formulation process. I think it is somewhere in upper house or lower house somewhere. It is there, but they
Okay.
have not rectified it. And
Right.
last time when there was some discussion about this e-commerce law, and they thought it was related with yeah, energy. So there was so there was huge news as well. And the other factor that is, so there should be one law that will govern all these e-commerce, because that will protect our businesses as well, e-commerce sector as well, and that will also protect the buyers, our consumers, because there are lots of e-commerce are coming which are only based in Facebook, which do not
Mhm.
provide any kind of after sales service, refund, or if there are lots of fraud activities as well. So I
Right.
think the right law will help. The other factor for Nepal would be the infrastructure related to running or operating an e-commerce, because our logistics network is very poor. Even we don't have like proper addressing system, proper um, uh, roadways, airways, everything is very expensive. Due to which the cost of running an e-commerce company is expensive. People might think that okay, you don't need to have your own warehouse, you don't need to have run your outlets or like physical outlets. But when you look into the logistics costs of running an e-commerce, it's very high. Due to which
Right.
cannot like it's difficult to make good progress and also operate all over Nepal. And the other factor is related with access to capital, because uh, because uh, because e-commerce sector is still very early in Nepal. If we compare to other neighboring countries like China and India, they are like lots of matured players, and they have been
Oh,
operating in like
absolutely.
huge,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yeah.
huge. their valuations are also quite high. Like there are many companies which are valued over in $1 billion. But in Nepal,
Mhm.
it's very early, and you can, like last week also we read news like one of the major or early startup, first e-commerce of Nepal, Sastu had to shut down because of all these issues. And they had
Yes, I
also
read
they
that
were well
news. Yes.
funded as well. Yeah, they were well funded compared to us
Mm,
or lots of
mm.
other players. So I think there should be lots of discussion. Government should take e-commerce sector very seriously because it is providing lots of employment opportunities in terms of packaging or delivery riders. These are like new job opportunities that we could not envision like maybe 10 or 5 years back, but now lots of people are working full time as delivery riders. So it's also
Right.
creating new work opportunities for young people. So
Oh,
I
yes.
think that, yeah, so the government should recognize the importance of e-commerce and start taking it seriously.
Absolutely, absolutely. And what are some of the challenges that you feel are you have faced as you have spent a lot of time growing your company?
In terms of challenges, like for us, if you talk about an e-commerce like ours, which is mostly focused in providing or creating market for Nepali agricultural or grocery products, the for number one challenge is still logistics because it's cheaper for us to get products from India rather than
Oh,
from Joomla. Uh, b- from Joomla, if you get want to get something, then the per kg logistics cost is 25 rupees per kg. Uh,
okay.
but if you want to get something from Delhi, India, then you will get it in 7 rupees. So you can
Oh,
say like it's if 3 or 4 times expensive for us to get Nepali products from Nepal to Kathmandu. So one
okay.
is that. The other part is the cost of operating e-commerce, which includes the infrastructure, that is internet, electricity. Access to electricity is still very limited. In People might say that uh, there is no load shedding in Nepal right now, but if you look into the frequent power cuts,
Mhm.
these are serious issues for us because businesses like ours are completely dependent upon electricity and internet. So
Okay.
internet should be cheaper and cheaper because it's not only for operating our business, but the more cheap the internet is, the more people will start ordering from their phones. Otherwise, if
Absolutely.
it's internet is expensive, then people will not use internet to order foods or surf through our apps in the websites. So internet should be accessible to everyone. And the other part is there should be a way in which a law which should protect us in terms of like a platform, because most of the time what happens is due to a lack of clarity in rules and laws, it's very difficult to provide after sale support to our consumers because there can be lots of fraud activities. Like most of the time people order and they don't show up to receive their order.
Oh,
Sometimes
okay.
people order and then they complain after 2 3 months, and they want replacement after 2 3 months, which is not possible.
Right.
and uh, and so there are lots of like black gray areas. So these areas needs to be cleaned, and government should actually uh, pass a bill which will clearly underline all these
Mhm.
terms and conditions, like or how should e-commerce run, where should it register, how should it register, how should it run, and what are all the different rules that e-commerce sector need to follow. That should be clearly mentioned in those bills. So we are
Right.
waiting for it.
Right, right. So, Bhuvan, I mean, you might have, of course, you have interacted with a lot of local farmers and communities in Nepal because you buy their products. What do you think are their concerns, and what impact Kathmandu Organics had on local farmers and communities in Nepal?
So what we work with lots of farmers in Nepal. The problem in Nepal is not only production. The problem is there are lots of other issues related to farming, like proper storage is not there. Storage, like government has been trying to create an infrastructure of cold storage, but I think almost 20 to 25% of those cold storage are only in use.
Okay.
Rest of the time they are not used properly. So there should be process where farmers have access to this cold storage, and this should not only be used for like basic like potatoes or some 2 3 kinds of crops. This should be accessible for all kinds of farmers. That is one problem. Storage, cold storage also, and dry storage also, because because due to the lack of proper dry storage facilities also, our grains mostly uh, go to India and then come back to Nepal after processing. So these
Oh,
are
is it?
yes. So it happens in
Okay.
Tarai area, Madhesh area. So
Mhm.
so that is one key issues. The other thing is there is government is has lots of program focused on farmers. There are lots of grants, lots of loan provisions, but none of these uh, uh, support systems reach to real farmers. They all are consumed by um, middlemen. So there
Mhm.
should be proper verification system or proper distribution system where real people or real farmers get this kind of subsidies, grants, or loans. That would
Right.
also help. And for farmers, the other important factor is value addition of their products, because most of the Nepali farmers, they only sell raw materials or raw fruits, raw vegetables, or raw. Also, if in terms of grains, also they don't sell finished products. So there is very less value addition in local level. Right now, because of this new form of local government, there have been lots of activities in local level as well. But in terms of like maybe farmers could start their own small micro pickle making industry in local areas, or there could be
Mhm.
Masura industry in local areas. People can have like apple chips in Mustang, Jumla, which can add value to their products. And even if they do not sell the whole quantity in peak season, they can still add value and then sell it in better price after the season is finished. So these are like general problems that I see in Nepal's agriculture system.
Bhuvan, and since it's been years since you have interacted with consumers as well, how has consumer awareness and demand for organic products evolved over the years?
Mhm.
And how has your company responded to the changes?
So when we started in 2017, our first product was uh, first product was like we got some kiwis from our friend's farm in Kavri, and
Mm.
we promoted it. And
Mhm.
we only promoted it, like we created a Facebook page and then started and contacted our friend circle. So we have this new company called Kathmandu Organics, and we are started to deliver uh, in your home. Can you please order? That's how we started in
Right, right.
2017. Yeah, with almost like 40 or 50 kgs of kiwi from Kaveri.
Mm.
And and then after that we had already placed our orders for products from Joomla. So we started to get our products from Joomla, and it was mostly like local marsi rice, and then local Joomla uh, millets, kaguno, and kaguno, which is also called foxtail, and proso millet, and then few other products from Joomla. So from there till today, like what we see is there is a huge difference. Like when we started in initial days, we had to uh, people were not even willing to order because they didn't trust online system. But today,
Absolutely.
what we see is significant change in terms of people order and they want to pay immediately. They
Right.
trust. They okay. They will deliver. They are trust. They are trustworthy. So people do not have any hesitation to make payments immediately. During those days, it was very difficult to even collect payment, get orders from them. The other factor is when we started, people felt our products were expensive, uh,
Mm.
and they are not for common people or only high end people or high class people. Upper class people can purchase. That was the initial thought process from our consumers. But after COVID, the scenario changed because people
Mm.
understood that they should consume local products because imported products were not available during those time. The other
Right.
thing was they started to trust Nepali products, and they also because in media also or due to COVID, people had lots of changed understanding about food system and
Mm.
about local food system especially because then they started to think, okay, we should eat local food because local food are more nutritious, they are more natural instead of imported foods. So since then people have switched to lots of uh, consumer have switched towards local organic food, natural food during COVID period. And I can also tell you that during that period the business was also much better. The growth
Okay.
of business was also much better because local shops were shut down, and then the imported products were also not easily available due to the lockdown, due to
Yeah.
which people had to switch to local products and local foods like ours because they're very limited. And during that period, I think there were lots of companies that started during COVID and shut down immediately after COVID because that
Oh,
was the only business running during COVID, home
right.
deliveries.
Okay.
Because the lockdown could not also stop the home deliveries because government was also focused in home deliveries instead of going to supermarkets for
Mm.
purchases. So that's how it was changed. And today, what we feel is like people are more demanding in terms of people are ready to pay for their products, but at the same time we have to ensure the authenticity of those products. One, the other is quality of the products, and
Right.
authenticity, quality, and also continuity. Because most of the time what happens is like if you sell a, let's say maybe basmati rice, and if it's only available for 2 months and you can't supply it for round the year,
Mm.
then it's not continuity, and people will
Right.
not buy from you because they want to if they like a product, then they want to at least have it uh, over the period of over 12 months.
Sure.
But then
Mm.
so those are few things that have changed since in last 7 years of our company.
Right. Right. So, and what are your future plans for your company? Where do you see yourself in next decade?
So what we so still in last few years what we have done is like initially we were only focused in groceries, but right now we have started selling dairy products and vegetables and also meat products. So in last
Okay.
few years, like we have added all these range of products. So so now we are almost a complete department store for groceries. Initially, we had
Mhm.
only like so limited products, which are all mostly like uh, non-perishable item. But now we are also added perishable items like fresh vegetables, meat, and dairy. So our idea is to go offline as well in few years'
Okay.
time. We start setting up small sized small stores in different parts of the Kathmandu and outside Kathmandu. It could
Mm.
probably be in like some of them will be directly owned by our team, but the rest of the others will be set up in franchise system. So that's what we
Okay.
are looking into once this economic crisis settles
Mm.
down in near
Right.
future. So
Right.
that's our
Right.
plan. And we want to focus in creating products that are value added, not directly
Mhm.
raw products only. Maybe we have started like selling satus, and
Mm.
then we are also working on different kinds of cheese, paneer, flavored paneer, and we so these are different kinds of value added products that we are looking into. And we also
Right.
recently started a cloud kitchen, which is focused only in using healthy meals. So it will be, the meal is being designed by dietitians and then cooked by professional chefs. So you want to
Right.
uh, expand our build an ecosystem where we can not only focus only in grocery items, but we can add other elements into it, including mobile application that is also under construction. So we are trying to go slowly towards building ecosystem that will be both offline and online, and
Mhm.
more easily accessible to different parts of Nepal.
Right, right. When you these days, I mean, we see a lot of different companies that has kind of come forward, entrepreneurs. Um, what are some of the lessons that you have learned from running your company that you think other entrepreneurs could benefit from?
So from my experience, I think the key is resilience. Um, for every entrepreneur, they should be resilient. And if you are trying something, it won't happen immediately or within in short period of time. So you have to. The time will test everyone. So people should be patient and keep working on their ideas. One is that. Other is if you have any idea, then you have to implement it as soon as possible, not wait for some funds or someone to come and invest on it, because you can always start very small, like we did. We started only with 50 kg kiwis. If
Right.
we had waited for like funds, or like we have waited for website, then it would have taken very long time. So you learn fast if you start fast early.
Mm.
So and then you can always then move faster than other competitors. And so the other part is, if you want to work in a country like Nepal, then there are lots of things that would not directly be applicable from what you learn in a business school or what you learn from other business ideas. So you have to
Mm.
learn it by doing, and the
Right.
learning is always organic process in Nepal, because there is nothing. Because if you go to a government office to register a company, then there might be something in a website, but then once you visit there, then you will understand like how it works. Or even in
Right.
Nepal, like if you want to go to pay tax, then also you have to make effort in to pay the tax. The government will not
True.
allow you to pay easily. So there are so many things that we have to fight and learn in Nepal. Like it's a continuous process, and so you should not, like, really, if you want to do something here in Nepal, then you should not really feel discriminated or disturbed by all these kinds of lots of irregularities in government system, or also in terms of logistics issues. So I think it will all go down to being a resilient entrepreneur who can yeah, keep going on for a long time.
Thank you, Bhuvan. Thank you so much for your time. It was lovely talking with you, and particularly it was so great to see you driving a company. We met after so many years, and
Mhm.
you are running your company by your own. You have started pretty small. Now you are growing. I'm extremely happy for you, and I wish you all the success down the line. Thank you so much for your time once again.
Thank you for inviting in me in your series. Thank you, sir.